Kashmir protests, many are shaheed. Protests in Delhi, in India, cockroach party, people are running for their lives in Morocco. What is going on in the world? Assalamu alaikum and welcome. This is the only way. We're seeing a lot of suffering, disillusionment, protests going across in Morocco and South Asia. What's the cause and what's the reason behind this?
Shalom, Shani. Hope you're well. So I think the number of the issues you mentioned, these are just the latest iterations of ongoing issues that are going on where people are unhappy with their governments, they're unhappy with their rulers. They feel their rulers have failed to provide them or take care of them when it comes to their lifestyles, when it comes to fulfilling their basic needs. And what you're seeing is a lot of this is now exploding into protests, into agitation, into instability. So just last year, we saw loads of like young people's protests, Nepal, Bangladesh, Thailand, and all of these were is the system just doesn't represent us. The system just doesn't take care of us. And you're going to need, and the protests that took place last year, they were calling them the first Gen Z protests. So these are people who didn't see life in the last century. They're born after the year 2000 and they're really unhappy with their lot. They're really unhappy where things are. Now, there are some differences between these. So if we just look at the Kashmir issue, you know, what you're seeing is some dispute about the number of seats and how they're allocated in parliament. But the underlying factor is the high flour and energy prices and the feeling amongst Kashmiris that the government in Pakistan just isn't dealing with this. And although Kashmir technically has self-rule, its foreign policy, its economy, its budget really is determined in Islamabad. And the regime has just responded in brute forces, massive clampdown. They've cut the internet. For some reason, this seems to be the tactic of autocrats. We'll cut the internet, and hopefully that will stifle the protests that are going on. You've seen in India, you've got they call themselves the cockroach party, the cockroach protests. This comes after a judge called the young people who are criticizing the regime as cockroaches. And again, it started from dodgy election results where students felt that the election, the exam they do were rigged. So they protested and it grown from there. Now it's actually turned into a protest about the people and the system, the people and the rulers. And we're seeing a similar thing play out in Morocco. What I find very interesting with Morocco and Spain, what's going on, the territory we're talking about is actually in Africa. It's not in Europe. So the northern tip of Morocco is still technically Spanish land. Spain conquered it in the 15th century. So this is different to Gibraltar. Gibraltar is on the European side. It's connected to mainland Spain. This territory that we've seen lots of people go into is actually connected to Morocco. Morocco doesn't recognize Spanish authority over it. They see it as occupied land. And what you've seen is, again, across Africa, lots of people are on the move because of instability, because of wars. Obviously, the right wing are having a field day. Just before we recorded this, I saw Zia Yusuf from the Reform Party in the UK. He's gone over to this place in Africa, on the tip of Africa, where this is taking place. So the right wing are jumping on this, hordes of migrants. I saw one headline, military aged men. I mean, who even refers to a human being like that? That's just had the terminology being used. So, what they're trying to show is Europe is being overrun. We've got hordes of men. We don't know who these men are. We don't know what they're up to. That's how it's being presented. So, overall, we're going through a big era of instability. People feel the systems and the people that represent the system, they don't take care of them. And the situation of people is very bad. You look at cost of living, you look at energy, all these things have been a problem for a while. So we're seeing this manifest in many, many different ways across the board. And I think this will just get worse because most regimes have no plan or strategy to deal with them. They still want to serve the elite, or usually they're the elites themselves. And these things would really just get worse.
Yeah, and I think there's level of desperation, and now we're hitting to the point of extreme desperation. People are running for their lives. That's what was happening in Morocco. They were running for basic food, for basic shelter, for basic healthcare, not lavish, not first class, just basics. In in India, people were just looking for a basic opportunity of fairness to be able to get a job, to be able to earn some money, to make a bit of a future. In Kashmir, people were looking for the basics of being able to feed their family, feed their children, keep the lights on, and that's it. In before that, in Bangladesh, uh, people were looking for the same thing, just the basics, basics, basics. And when the system can't provide for the basics, then we're in trouble. We're in trouble. And this poverty has got to the stage of biting. And the Prophet said, he who is inflicted with poverty and seeks relief from people, he will not be relieved. Whereas he who seeks relief from Allah, he will be given sustenance from Allah sooner or later. And this is the whole thing now in terms of we've turned to the people of the UN, we've turned to the people of IMF, we've turned to the people of World Bank, we've turned to the people in nice suits, in G20s, in Davos. What have they given us? They've led us to the situation where we are running and scattered everywhere. And and when we turn to the system of Islam, I think this is where it's coming down to that only when we turn to Allah, only when we turn to a way and a system where Allah provides, will we get relief. And I think the people are starting to realize this. They've called out once, twice, three, four, five times, and it's not led to any better situation. And like you said, it doesn't look like it's going to change. So I think the people are at a turning point. At a turning point. Okay, we've turned to the people of the UN, of the G20s, of the G7s, and we've got nothing. Now where do we turn to? Okay, the system of Allah. What does it say? How does it provide? Let's turn to that. Okay, Jazakallah khair for your thoughts. Let us know what you if you have any thoughts. If you're from Kashmir, if you're from India, if you're from Bangladesh or Morocco, leave a comment below and remember to like, share, and subscribe.